Hey crew, it's Pit, and I'm back with the weekly tarot for INTPs for the week of July the 27th through August the 2nd. We will be pulling 8 cards in the Divine Feminine from the Divine Feminine deck. We will be pulling 8 cards from the Divine Masculine deck so that we can get an idea of how to best manifest our timeline, our best timeline, in accordance with Spirit. But if today is the first time that you've seen my smiling face, or if you are unfamiliar with what the words ideas, new, self, control, and direct mean, then I suggest that you fall back and check out the video, which is entitled Have You Been Doing MBTI Wrong? Because there is a good chance that you have. Now that we've shuffled the cards, we have in the base the Hermit. These are going to be pulled in accordance with the 8 human chakras. In the sacral, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. In the solar plexus, we have the Chariot in reverse. In the heart, we have the Ace of Pentacles. In the throat, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. In the third eye, we have the King of Swords. In the crown, we have the Knight of Cups. And rounding out our message from the Divine Feminine on the bottom of the deck, we have Judgment. Next up, we are going to be pulling a card from the Divine Masculine. The Divine Feminine, which is on the table, is what tells us the current situation. The Divine Masculine lets us know what steps that we can take in order to help manifest our highest timeline in accordance with Spirit. I did a pre-meditation and a pre-shuffle on these cards, but I like to get a couple more shuffles while we're going just to make sure everything is exactly where it is supposed to be. Now, beginning with the crown. We have the King of Swords in reverse. In the third eye, we have the 7 of Wands. In the throat, we have the High Priestess. The 7 of Wands was in reverse. In the heart, we have the Page of Pentacles. In the sacral, we have the Queen of Wands. Or in the solar plexus, we have the Queen of Wands. In the sacral, we have the 10 of Cups. In the base, we have the Judgment card in reverse. That is a dull judgment today. And rounding out our message from the Divine Masculine with the steps that we can take, we have the 5 of Cups in reverse. Alright, so let's dive in and see what the cards are telling us today. We begin at the base because that is base existence. Do you have a home? Do you have a car? Do you have provision? Do you have money? That is all governed by this particular area. It is also the area that controls your lust or your love and wrath. You may be giving away too much affection. You may not be receiving the affection that you feel like you deserve. For you in particular, as an INTP, this is going to be guided by your past feelings and the morals you have extracted from the situation. Morals are what you think is right. Ethics are what everybody else thinks is right, and they are not necessarily the same thing. This is going to be an area of extremely low understanding for you, so you're going to have a hard time understanding what morals are or why you should have them. You have them, you just don't understand what they are or why you have them. It's not intentional, it's nothing personal, it's just the way that the stack works out. You get an awful little bit of information in your base. For you in particular today, we are looking at the Hermit. The Hermit is an isolation card, but it is a card about knowledge and wisdom. This is a 9 card, so it is about choosing a path. This is a higher path. You are choosing the higher path. And so what we see, he has the lamp of knowledge in his hand. He is standing on top of the mountain all by himself, full of his knowledge. He has all of the knowledge. But he is on top of the mountain, and it's hard to get knowledge if you have to walk up a mountain to get it. He is in isolation. This is a card of isolation. You may be feeling a little bit isolated. You may feel like you've got the things that people need, right? All of the knowledge that they have. Why aren't they coming to you for it? Right? That's the energy that we're getting right there. And clarifying with actions that can be taken, we have the Judgment card in reverse. Now, the Judgment card, when it is standing tall, is about equal, fair judgment being made. It is about everything working out exactly as it is supposed to according to divine will. That's what this card means when it is standing tall. You have it in the obverse or in the reverse. And the reverse is a resistance, right? It's not necessarily negative. Some people like to think that the reversals are negative. It's not. This is a current situation, actions that you can take. When it is in the reverse, it is telling you don't take the action, or it is letting you know that you are resistant to this particular thing, that you're not taking the action that you need to. Right? This is a negative card, but not negative connotations. It's just saying the opposite of what it's supposed to. And this is right just application of judgment, right? This is just before the culmination of the entire suit. There is only one card left after this. That is the entire world. This is the judgment right before it. We see the angel blowing the horn. It's got the flag of victory attached to it, and they are coming out of their graves, and they are happy. So this is a good judgment, right? But you've got it in the reverse, which means that you feel like somebody's not making the right choices, right? Now, you're feeling isolated, possibly, here on the top of the mountain. This is the second path, so it is spiritual. And then you have this judgment that is not being properly applied. Now, this can be your judgment. This can be you acting in a way that keeps you isolated. Right? That's what this can be. You are not using your judgment in the correct manner. You are not being equal, fair in your distribution of the judgment. Now, this is a 20 card, and so it is going to be about understanding, right? So that's the way the numerology works out. It's going to be about understanding the right judgment. So the action that you need to take in order to affect this hermit is going to be that you need to become more balanced in your judgment, right? Whatever in this particular thing is that you need to understand, you need to figure it out, right? We'll get some further clarification as we go along, but you are feeling apparently in your current situation, maybe you work alone, right? Maybe you work from home, maybe you're not surrounded by other people. This is an isolation feeling, and it's due to some judgment. That doesn't necessarily have to be your judgment, but with the hermit right next to it, it does seem like it is. Next up, we're going to go to the sacral, and the sacral is the area that deals with generation in the physical plane. Right? You envision your future with your third eye, you put it into play with the sacral. If you want a business, you envision it here, you actually write the business plan and get the funding here. If you want to write a book, you have the idea here, you do the outline in the first draft here. Right? This is the idea of it, this is the physical manifestation of it. This can be physical manifestation like you want to have a child. This is the area that governs lust and chastity. But that can mean that you may have a tendency towards too much physical affection or not enough. Neither one are particularly good. You're supposed to find the balance in all of the virtues and vices. For you in particular, as an INTP, this is going to be governed by your SE, which is current things and exploration. So you like new things, right? Now, this is your area of sex, so you may have a tendency to not commit. We'll put it that way. You may have a tendency to want to spread yourself around a little bit in this particular area. That is because you like new experiences, not necessarily the same experience repeated. And it's an area, right? The sacral and the trickster are the same thing, right? And so you are being tricked by this energy. You get it wrong 70% of the time. You are probably choosing multiple partners, and you are absolutely not meant for that, right? There are a few people who are called for that. It is not the people who misunderstand it. And today we are looking at, in this particular area, this is the Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands is about change. Wands are change. It is spirit, fire, life, light, logos, and change. That is what the wands signify. The six is an overcoming of a challenge. And so your current situation is that you are not rising to overcome a challenge. There is a challenge being presented that you are not overcoming. This would be you have overcome it. This is just almost past it, right? If you were currently still full in the middle of the challenge, then you would have gotten the 5 card here. You got the 6, so that means that you are in the process of overcoming it, but you're not quite there yet. There is still more actions that you can take. Now, when this card is standing tall, he is riding his horse of victory. He's got laurels on his staff of change here, and he's got a laurel on his head. That signifies victory. This is the victory not quite realized yet. He is walking into the future. This can symbolize holding on to the past. Now, clarifying that with some steps that you can take, we've got the Ten of Cups. Now, Cups are about emotional connections. This can be familial connections, this can be spousal connections, this can be co-workers or just friends. But it's not about the people, it's about the connections. It's about the emotions attached to it. That's what cups govern. This is the 10, and a 10 is going to be about learning about the new path that you are on. This is the path of emotions beginning. You are realizing with the Hermit, hey look, there's the path of emotions. Right? This is you learning about that path. You make the choice to be on it at some point. This is you learning it, right? The card before this is making the choice. The card after this is understanding what you have learned. This is you learning it. There is something on the emotional level that you have to learn. Now, this is probably tied to this judgment that you are making in the wrong way, dealing with some emotional maturity. This is a card of provision, a card of generation, right? You're on the new path. This is generational understanding. There is the understanding of the emotional things. 10 is a culmination card, but not in the same way as the completion and the harvest cards. You see here the man and his spouse. You see here the two children playing. You see over there, they're home. This is all the good things, right? This is the current situation for you. This is you learning about emotional connections. This can be settle down and get into monogamy, right? This is your spot of finding the new shit. This may be telling you it is time to stop doing that, right? In order to enact this victory, overcome this challenge, find some emotional maturity and quit having sex with everything that moves. Next up, we're going to be moving to the solar plexus, and the solar plexus is quite literally the part that turns your food into fuel. It's tied to your stomach. It is what fuels the base existence that you are having. It is what fuels the life that you want to have. This is the as below trinity, and all three need to be in accordance. This is the area that governs gluttony and temperance. So you may be over consuming some of the things on the mortal coil. You may be under consuming some of the things on the mortal coil. Neither one of those are intrinsically good. For you in particular, the solar plexus is going to be guided by your best possibility and the guidance. This is choosing the correct outcome, right? You see the options. You're really good at seeing the options. You're a little less good at choosing the options, right? You can say, well, here's all of the ideas, but you're going to have to choose which one we go with, right? That's going to be you. It's not about the things. The things is a different one, right? This is the ideas. You see the possible outcomes from things, right? If there is an action being taken, you're like, well, this can happen, this can happen, this can happen, and this can happen. And you're real good at seeing all of these options. You're just not really good at saying which one is most likely to happen. And that is because of where this is. It's low in your stack. It's low reception. You're not really getting a lot of energy there. It takes extra effort. What we're seeing from you is stagnation, right? This is the Chariot. The Chariot is about forward movement when it is standing tall. This is a 7 card that is about a completion and a harvest. So what is driving you is the completion and the harvest, but you're not quite there. This is fast forward movement in a properly aligned way. He is sitting on the throne being pulled by the two sphinxes, one representing the light, one representing the dark. They are equally yoked. They are both pulling in the same direction with the same effort. They are equally yoked. This is balance. This is moving forward in a balanced way. You're not balanced. This is stagnation. This is not moving forward. This is you resisting that change even, right? Resisting the end of the path, resisting the new way. Clarifying what you can do from the divine masculine, and you can't even make this up. This is the Queen of Wands. This is about nurturing the change. This is you not nurturing the change, right? This Chariot, you're not nurturing the change. With this, you need to nurture the change. The black cards are the current situation. The gold cards are what you can do to fix that situation or to continue on the path. This is telling you that you need to nurture the change. Wands are life, light, logos, and change, right? Queens are nurture the energy. Now, here's how the practical application of that goes, right? The Knight is about the challenge. You have just learned something with the page. Now you've got the Knight, and he rises to the challenge, and you defeat the challenge. You become the Queen. You have defeated the challenge, but you're not quite ready for the harvest yet. There is something about the completion that is not coming through. It's got to do with this, nurturing the change, right? Before you get to the harvest and right after this hard fight, you need to take a second to breathe. You need to say, that was difficult, but it's okay. right? You've already won. You've already overcome. You're not at the end. You're not crossing the finish line. There's still a little bit of effort left to put in, but the effort is mostly just fertilizing your crops. All of the seeds are planted. They've all grown. You're watering them. You're fertilizing them. This is nurturing the energy. This is the energy of change. Now, the chariot is the culmination, the change happening quickly. And it's not, right? The current situation, it is not happening. This is telling you to nurture that, right? You have this isolation. You have this off judgment. You have this situation that is not quite ready. It is about emotional fulfillment. Nurture this change. You feel the change coming. You know what it is. And I know that. Right? You know how I know that? Because what you really want to manifest is telling you that. Now we're going to move into the heart, and the heart is what you really want to manifest in your life. The as below and the as above come into accordance through the heart into the divine and enable manifestation. You set your intentions and you put them into play. This is your intentions. This is what you are focusing on. This is what you want in your life. Now, this is the area that deals with greed and charity, greed being associated with the mortal coil, charity being associated with the spiritual coil. You're supposed to find the balance between them. You're supposed to have things, not give them all away, but you're not supposed to have all of the things. You're supposed to give some of them away, finding the balance. For you in particular, as an INTP, your heart is going to be governed by the TE, which is what everyone else thinks, right? Other people's thoughts. What is their rationale about this? You use logic. Theirs is rationale. Everybody agrees on these things. And you're going to have a tendency to not understand what other people think about this simply because of the placement. Now, you have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a brand new path unfolding before you. This is the realization that there is a path. This is, oh look, there's a path I can take. Now, this isn't making the choice about the path quite yet. This is just realizing that the path is there. And that's what's happening to you, right? That is what you are trying to manifest in your life. This new path. And it's there. It is. If you come off the mountain, if you work in some operational, emotional maturity, then you got the new path. The new path is there. And that is clarified because you need to understand the new path. Right? This is the path of the earth. He's got the pentacle. This is a page. Page is understanding. This is right before you go into the challenge of the night. This is the page. The page, another word for it is squire. Right? Page and the squire, they do the same job. They are learning to be the knight. They are learning or understanding what they have learned in order to go to rise to meet the challenge. This is an understanding card. Understand the path. The path of the earth. You have a new path. Understand what it is. Now, it is going to be tied to this hermit energy. And so you're probably going to be able to enable this, right? If you get this emotional maturity in check, if you nurture this change, then you're going to get this new path. Next up is the throat. And the throat is where you communicate. This is the area of pride and humility. And so you may be taking too much credit in your work. You may not be taking enough credit in your work. Both of those are governed by this particular area. For you in particular, as an INTP, the throat is going to be governed by FE, which is other people's feelings. What do other people feel about this situation? What are their ethics? Right? Now, you're going to have a tendency to miscommunicate this part, right? You're miscommunicating the ethics because you don't understand what morals are. Right? We talked about that already. And so, again, it's not a personal thing. It's just something to work on. And so you're going to have a tendency here to miscommunicate what the morals were. Like you thought you understood them. You did. You thought that you had a clue, right? But you didn't. You took an action and everybody's upset all of a sudden and you don't understand why. You're like, what happened? And you broke somebody else's ethics, right? Somebody else's morals. What they have decided is right. And you didn't mean to. You didn't do it on purpose. But you just didn't realize it was the problem, right? That whole sexual energy, wanting to spread it around. You didn't realize that other people didn't like that. Why would they not like that? Now you're learning that. That's this new path that's opening up to you. All right. So you have the King of Swords. Swords is about thoughts and ideas. It is soul, it is air, it is thought, it is intellect, and it is communications. So there may be a communication here, there may be a thought here, but it has got something to do with that. This is the culmination card, right? So this is the area of what you envision in your future that you want to put into play. You have an idea. This is the end of that, right? This is the idea perfectly formed. All of the energy invested in it correctly, right? This is the current situation. You have an idea that you want to bring into fruition. It's going to take some steps, right? But you're ready. This is you being ready for it. This is the culmination of the suit. This is the highest that you can get in the swords. The best idea, the best communication. That's what this is. This is the divine masculine of the suit. You can see, like, you can see he is sitting on his throne. He is facing forward. He's got his sword of authority in his hand, but he is not he's not striking anybody. He's just got it. This is the culmination of the path. And clarifying that with actions that you can take is the culmination of the path, right? This is a 7, which is the lesser culmination. 7s and kings, same energy on a different level, right? This is the first path. This is the second path. This is the path of change. The change that is coming is culminating, right? You are, in order to enact this idea, this is what you need to do. Now you have it in reverse. What this is the defensive card, right? This is a 7, and 7s are about completion and harvest. Now, he has been fighting and training, right? That's what this is telling you. He is now in the position of authority in that training, right? He is on the top. He has the high ground, Anakin. He is the guy that just you have to be, or somebody has to be. This is probably you. Now, he is still fighting, right? But it's the end of the fight. Everybody else is below him. He's probably going to win. There's still some work left to do for the harvest. But this is about change. Now, this is about defense. This is not. This is about defend yourself. This is about you're almost there, keep going. This is about this idea is ready to go, quit defending it, right? Just let it occur. Just let it happen. You don't have a little bit of work left to do. This is a quit being defensive, quit being aggressive, quit making the change happen. Let the change happen. That's what the nurture, the change is with the queen. Let the change happen. This is a let the change happen too. If it was like this is you enacting the change. This is letting it happen. Next up, we're going to go to the crown, and the crown is where you interpret what the divine is telling you. You get a message from the divine, it filters through your crown to the rest. This is the area that governs hope and despair. So if everything is going terribly, then you still see gold. This is where you're doing that alchemy. If everything is going well and all you can see is shit, this is where you are choosing that depression. This is that area that governs it. And for you, this is going to be future possibilities and foresight. Now, you see all of the possibilities. We talked about that, right? You see all of these options. You miss a couple sometimes. This is about 70% perception, so you get it right most of the time. And so you have the ability to see the possibilities, but you need to take in that other perspective of what is the best possibility, right? I see all of these. I got to choose one, and you don't want to choose it. You hate that. I guess one of the things you really don't like, right? Now, if you're good at it, if you're seeing all of the possibilities and then you can choose it, that's going to drive you. It's going to feed everything else in your life, but you're resistant to it. Right? And so what do we have? There's a challenge on an emotional level, right? Cups are about emotions. It is body, spirit. It is all of the familial connections that we talked about before. And the Knight is a challenge card. There is a challenge that you are currently facing, and you are rising to meet it. This is, maybe you are rising to meet it a little bit too much because of what we see about this defensiveness, but you are rising to meet this emotional challenge. If you do so, this is the area you feel responsible for. This is what you feel like the divine is telling you in order to manifest your life. And you're right, right? This is rising to meet the challenge of the emotional problem. And now the emotional problem seems to be tied to your sacral a little bit. Now that is not, like, I'm not trying to judge you, right? I'm just telling you what the cards are telling me. And I know somebody's going to take that wrong anyway. I'm not intentionally hurting anyone's feelings. I never do. I do hurt people's feelings. It's just never intentional. INFJ problems. And clarifying with actions that you can take in order to rise to meet this challenge is the King of Cups, right? No, the King of Swords. Now, you got the King of Swords in the obverse here, and you got it in the reverse here. Now, it's ready to go, right? This is going to be, it's not ready to go. This is rising to meet the challenge. This is something about the idea that you're not to implement, right? This is, don't defend your idea. This is kind of a reiteration of that. Rising to meet the emotional challenge by letting go of the thought that you are in charge of, right? The king is the culmination. He is the guy in charge of the entire suit. This is about thoughts, ideas, and communications. Maybe it's communicating wrong. I just realized we skipped completely over to the throat. We're going to have to go back to that. Huh. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. We went straight into the third eye. Very interesting. And then into the crown. Anyway, we'll go back to the throat, because this is probably where you're going to get the clarification for this. You've got the King of Swords in reverse, which is an inactive harvest. Let's see what the throat has to tell us. The throat is the area of communication. This is the area of pride and humility. This may be that you are taking too much credit in your work, or you're giving away too much credit for your work and not taking enough credit. For you in particular, the throat is going to be governed by future feelings and ethics. What do other people feel about this situation? What will they feel in the future? You're going to have a tendency to miscommunicate this particular area, so you don't understand what they're feeling and you don't talk to them about it. We have the Page of Pentacles, which is about understanding when it is standing tall, and when it is not, it is about not understanding. So, Pentacles is about the earthly path. There is something about this earthly path that you were not understanding. When he is standing tall, he's not moving forward, he is standing. He is contemplating the future of the world, right? And all of the good things, job and all of that. And we had that already, right? With steps that you can take is understand the path. This is the opposite. Don't communicate about understanding the path. Hold your tongue, maybe, right? If you have this idea that you're not meant to defend, this is telling you the same thing, right? Don't defend your idea. You can take pride in it, but sometimes humility is the better way to go, right? I have a great idea. I'm putting it into play, but I'm not telling anyone about it. That's what that appears to be. Well, let's get some clarification. We have the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a choice card. It is a 2. That is about the earthly path. It's on the first set. And so this is the choice about the earthly path that you need to make now. Now, this is you making a good choice. She is balanced, right? She is sitting on her throne of authority. She is crowned with her authority. She has Boaz and Yakim on either side of her, and she's sitting in the middle. She is balanced. This is a card of equal choice, good choice, balanced choice. You are stepping into the magician. You are about to become the high priest or the empress. This is about making a choice. So there is a choice about this earthly path. Now, this is you actively making a choice and then kind of not relaying it or not understanding it. Like, it doesn't really work for you not understanding the choice that you are making. And so that leads me away from that. It seems more like a communication issue. This can be an ethics issue. You are misinterpreting ethics, right? This is the area that governs for you, the ethics. And so you may be a little bit prideful in your accomplishments that we were talking about earlier, just to pound the same example. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexual, but it really does kind of feel that way. And I don't normally do sexual readings. This is not the normal. But this appears to be a misunderstanding of the ethics. Maybe you are being prideful about something and you need to balance that, right? This is a choice of balance. This is you being not understanding about something with the communication. And so it appears that not defending this idea has to do with this balance. And so that's going to bring us into the divine. The divine is a direct message. It is not tied to any of the virtues and the vices. But for you as an INTP, this is your personal thoughts and logic. This is what you do without even really thinking about it, right? You make logical choices. You yes, no check, and you choose correctly 90+% of the time. When you don't, it is because you are missing what other people are thinking. And you rely too much on what you are thinking and what has happened in the past, which you are miscommunicating. And so this is really about taking the time just to make sure that you are considering other people's thoughts, what their rationale is, before you make your logical choice so that you can ensure that it is correct. Now, you've got the judgment card. Now, the judgment card is about good, honest, perfect judgment. That's what this is. This is the last step before the end of the deck, right? There's one card left after this. It is the entire world. This is good judgment. Now, this is a 20 card, and a 20 is going to be an overcoming and a growth card. So this is overcoming a challenge in the right way, right? With good judgment. Now, the angel is blowing the horn, raising everyone up, and they're all happy. It's a good judgment, right? If it was upside down, maybe it wouldn't be. This is a good judgment. This is you currently making a good judgment. You just don't need to communicate it. You don't need to defend it. Now, you do need to come off of the mountain, right? You do need to get this emotional maturity. You do need to nurture this change, and it is possibly tied to some sexual things, an emotional connection, because that's where your challenge is lying from the divine masculine. The divine feminine is telling you the current situation, right? This is happening right now. This is the actions that you can take, and you have the Five of Cups in reverse. The Five of Cups, when it is standing tall, is the card of regret, but it is a card of manifestation as well. He is surrounded by his power. You see it emanating from him, but he is spending all of his time regretting these 3 cups that are spilled, without realizing that behind him are 2 brand new cups and a path to the town. He is spending all of his time with this past regret and not walking into what he needs. You have this in the reverse. Now, this is actions that you can take, right? He is regretting things. You need to stop regretting things. He is, this is about a challenge and an emotional connection, right? So it's a 5 card. That's a challenge. It's a cups card. It's emotional challenge, or it's an emotional challenge. And so there is an emotional challenge that you have to meet. But it is not an active meeting of the challenge. If it was standing tall, then it is you need to investigate the new possibilities behind you here. This is kind of a stagnation, right? There is a challenge, but you don't necessarily need to rise to meet it. In the same way that this 7 is that this guy is combating and you are not defending, right? This is kind of the same energy. This is, you have these regrets, but don't let it affect you. This is, there is this challenge. You don't have to meet it. It's going to come meet you. These 2 cards together is telling me that there is, right now, happening in your life, some divine judgment. Now, this can be you making the judgment. This can be things happening and unfolding in your life in a way that brings about judgment. But this is a positive judgment. Whatever it is that is being judged in the correct manner. It is playing out as it is supposed to, and you are not supposed to take an active part in it. There is a challenge associated with it. You're not supposed to rise to it. You are not supposed to meet it head on. You're kind of supposed to deflect it just a little bit. And you like doing that, so it should be easy enough. Hopefully, that's going to bring us to the end of the reading, and hopefully I brought a little bit of enlightenment and not too much confusion. If you like what I'm doing over here, let me know down below. Give me a like, a share, a follow. Throw me a comment if you agree or disagree with anything that was said. Put it in the box down below, and if it remains respectful, it gets to remain up. If you are a reader with a different interpretation, you are more than welcome to drop that in the box as well. All are welcome as long as they are respectful. If you really like what I'm doing over here, hit me with that super thanks. Consider joining for a membership or picking up a copy of my book where I teach you to do magic responsibly and MBTI the right way. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me, and I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace.